Now we're going to look at the very interesting chart of Warren Buffett, one of the most wealthy men in the United States, an investor, a philanthropist. If you were to look at the Eastern horizon when he was born, August 30th, 1930, at 1500 hours in Omaha, Nebraska, you would see the constellation associated with Sagittarius, the ninth sign, rising at 2 degrees. And Sagittarius is a dual fire sign, very driven, very um, intellectual, very much a teacher, flexible, goes with the flow. And we're gonna look at how the planets are operating and when they're operating. So we know that if there are any Multrikona signs, 1, 4, 5, 7, 9, and 11, found in the Dusthana houses, the sixth house, the eighth house, or the 12th house, they become functional malefics for the chart. And the rest of the planets, except for Rahu and Ketu, which are always functional malefic, um, are functional benefic planets. So we see in the eighth house the fourth sign of Cancer, which is ruled by Moon. So Moon is the only functional malefic other than Rahu and Ketu. There's no Multrikona sign in the sixth house or the 12th house. So uh, now we know that functional malefic sign planets can cause harm, not always, but can cause harm. In Warren Buffett's case, the Rahu and Ketu are at 2 degrees, which is the most effective point of every house. 2 degrees is the rising sign degree. Any planet that's within 5 degrees of 2 degrees, either it's like 7 or like 27 degrees in that range, can have impact in the chart. So let's first look at Sun. Sun, one thing to note that 5 out of all of his planets are very strong and well placed. This is very rare and definitely says a lot for his good fortune. Sun is at 13 degrees. It's very strong. It's ruling the house of good fortune, and actually, it's in its own house. It's very, very powerful. That makes him a great leader um, and successful. Very, very successful. All in this house of the ninth house, which is teaching. And so Moon is, again, the functional malefic at 12 degrees. It's ruling this house of challenges, death like experiences, but also research. And so Moon is placed in the 12th house. So it can give some issues from time to time, depending on the transits and the dasha periods. So it's not in a great house, and it's ruling, a house that can create obstacles. But I think it gave him great intuition and his ability to research and what to invest in. But he also, his first marriage, um, his wife and he uh, decided to live apart in 1977 until she passed away in 2004. So they were still very committed to each other in one sense, but that did affect the stability of the marriage, and it was one of the most devastating things in his life. So Mars is at 8 degrees, very strong. It's ruling this house of investments, children, and education. So he had 3 great kids, and Mars is the planet of property, so gave strong investments in property. So he has Berkshire Hathaway, which is one of the largest property companies in the United States and most successful. Mercury, very strong and well placed. It's exalted, in fact, great intellect. Um, it's ruling the house of career, and in the house of career, it's in its own sign, exalted. So, give him great business acumen to ability for accounting um, and investing. Um, Jupiter is at 20 degrees, and it is uh, ruling the house, the first house. So, this house, you can tell a lot about someone's chart from the ruler of the first house, the planets that are in the first house, and where the ruler is if it's not in this house. You can tell a lot. So, Jupiter, again, is. Has to do with teaching, has to do with expansion and success in business. And so it's at 20 degrees, and it also has to do with finance and ability to donate and do charity and philanthropy. So I'd say his life purpose very much aligned with philanthropy and helping other people, teaching other people to become successful, because everybody watches what he does and then they try to follow, and because he makes very successful decisions in business and investment. Venus is at 29 degrees. Venus represents it's ruling the house of income, so income, and it's also the karaka, the significator for wife. So with it's at 29 degrees, so it's close to the most effective point, and it's placed in the house of career. So great income through um, making good decisions, and it is weak because it's an old age. Any planet that's more than 25 degrees or less than 5 degrees, old age or adolescence becomes weak. So this also has to do with his first marriage, probably. Um, Saturn is at 12 degrees, very strong and well placed, ruling the house of business communications, success in business. So gave him great success. Rahu and Ketu again are at that most effective point. They're at 2 degrees, so they afflict several houses. But in his chart, it doesn't appear to be. It's fairly benign, and it's rare when the. But it can, they can cause harm. So Rahu is desire. K2 is intuition. So he had great intuition and a desire for investing and creating wealth and income. I'd say the reason that he has been successful and the Rahu and Ketu have not caused much harm in his chart is due to his great donations and charities. That's a mitigating factor for Rahu and Ketu. Wearing a kavash to strengthen his weak planets, although there's only a couple, um, because the rest are strong. The other thing would be chants and charities, and he's always done that. So great mitigating factor for him. So let's look at when the planets were operating. First, well, kind of go backwards. He was diagnosed with prostate cancer April 11th, 2012, and he underwent treatments. You see at that time Rahu Saturn longevity, Rahu can cause harm. So it's a ecliptic planet. It can give great wealth, and then it can take it away, or cause health issues. So in September of that same year, a few months later, he went into Rahu Mercury. So Mercury, he fully recovered from his chemo or whatever cancer treatments that he did. So that Mercury, again, exalted planet, helped him overcome that challenge. His wife died August, let's see, July 2004. And I just wanted to show you this circular chart. The outer chart is where the planets are on July 13th, 2004, when his wife died. The inner planets are his natal chart. So these are the transiting chart planets when she died. And you can see Moon, which is ruling this house of death-like experiences, afflicting Venus, which is wife, in the house of health issues and um, challenges. So he did set up a trust fund or something in her name. So he still had some connection to it. Now, he did get remarried after she passed away in 2006. And he that was during a Rahu Jupiter period, Jupiter expansion, and then he decided right shortly after that that he would donate, not give any money to his children, but donate all the rest of his earnings to charity. So again, a great move to mitigate the Rahu and Ketu afflicting 6 out of his 12 houses. So that's the chart for Warren Buffett. If you're interested in a transformational Vedic astrology reading, you can go to vastucreations.com, creations with an S, and go to services. And under services, you'll see astrology readings. Or if you want to learn to do transformational Vedic astrology, which I feel is just the clearest, simplest, most effective way to read a chart, you can go to American Institute of Vastu.com, and you'll see astrology level 1 and level 2 certification. Thank you for listening.